Hi guys, so they want us to basically subtract the signals and also add them up. So we're going to start with the subtraction part of it. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to draw lines at the point where you see changes. As here and here. There's also two changes at this point, but I didn't want to draw the red line now to make confuse us. So for the first part, the first change you have is 0 and 0 at this point. So 0 minus 0, that is simply 0. So our graph starts from here. Now the next change we have is at this point, but here is still at 0. So the next is going to be 2 minus 0, which is equal to what? 2. So our graph will go up. So 2. Let's assume here is 2. Now the next change we have is at this point. So this is going to be 2 minus, let's trace it down, 1. So 2 minus 1 equals what? 1. So this is going to drop to wherever 1 is. Right. But then at that same point, we have another change. You can see that at this point again we have a change here. There's a change still at that line position. And this point is 1. This point is still 1. Sorry, this point is still 1. So it's going to be 1 minus 1, what equals to 0. So this graph will drop down to 0. Now the next change we have is at this point. And at this point, what do we have? 1. And at this point, it is also 1. So 1 minus 1, that's 0. So it's keep on that 0 line. The next change we have at this point is what? Here, 2. This point is still 1. So it will be 2 minus 1 equals to 1. So this comes up. The next change is at this point, that is 2. And at this point, because we have to be working with the same line, that's 0. So it's 2 and 0. So that's 2 minus 0. That equals what? 2. So this is going to go up to 2. And then the next change we have is this point. So that is 0 and that is 0. So 0 minus 0 equals to 0. So this just drops down to 0. So this is what the graph is going to look like. Now for the addition. Now for the addition, we're going to do similar thing, but this time with adding. So this is 0 and this point is also 0. 0 plus 0, that simply equals to 0. So we start from this position. The 0 position is 2, this one. Then the next this thing is 2. And this point is still 0. So 2 plus 0. That's 2. Then I go up there. Now the next change we have is at this point 2. And this point, if you go down the line, is 1. So it's going to be what? 2 plus 1 this time. It's going to be 3. So we're going to have an additional position here. And so this is going to go up to 3. Now the next movement we're going to make is at this change. So at this change, what do we have here? 1. But at this point, we still have 1 here because we're still on the same line. 1 plus 1, that's 2. So this is going to drop to 2. Now at this point, what do we have? This is 1 and this is 1. So 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. So we're going to stay at that position of 2. The next change we have is at this point, which is 2. Here is still 1. So 2 plus 1 equals 3. So that's going to go up to 3. And it's still on that same line. Now at this position, you're going to have 2. And if you go down the line, you're going to have 0 at this position. So it's 2 plus 0, which is equals to what? 2. So we're going to drop down to 2. And then the last position is 0 here and 0 here. So it's 0 plus 0 equals to what? 0. So it's going to go down here. So this is what your graph is going to look like. I hope you understood. Thank you for listening.